Howdy hey peoples of the interwebs, so I'm back with another video. Today we'll be playing some Genshin Impact, though it doesn't quite just end there. This is what I like to call Genshin Impact Explorers Edition. Essentially, I set myself a bunch of different rules and limits to what I can and can't do. It just makes the game a little bit more interesting and a little bit more challenging than it would be otherwise. In doing so, I decided to focus on what I enjoy most in the game, which is the exploration aspect of the game. And what with all the new regions and stuff that have come out recently, I figured now was a good time to do it. Anyway, the rules are as follows. I cannot leave a map area until I achieve at least 95% exploration progress within that area, with a complicated exception that I'll have to explain later. This is shown on the map once you first interact with the Statue of the Seven, and it's kind of what we'll be using to dictate where I can and can't go. Following on from this, to progress to the next area, I have to beat every possible boss in the previous one before I can move on, which is fairly straightforward. And in a similar vein, I have to fight every domain or trial at least once before moving on as well. Other than that, I can only pull for characters once I finish a map area, and after that wishing session, wishing is locked till I complete a new area of the map. I can also only use characters that I've met in the game, be it in main, character or hangout quests, or even events. If the traveller hasn't met the character, I can't use them. And like most challenges, this will be free to play only. I'm not going to be spending any money on this account, so there's that. That's it for the rules for this challenge. In this video we'll be exploring the first two areas of the map, those being Starfell Valley and Galesong Hill. And with that out of the way, let's jump into this video, shall we? Now, I started off the new account as every account should be, picking which character I thought looked the cutest, immediately getting orphaned, and then debating whether or not eating the weird floating fairy I fished up would count as cannibalism or not. After deciding that's best saved for emergency situations, we follow after our possible food supply, beat up a little squishy guy, and then grab our very first teleport waypoint. I try to go for a swim to grab the fancy chest that's on the rock in the middle of the ocean, and fail horribly at it, drowning in the process. We then continue to hop our way up the mountain, collecting a whole bunch of random stuff along the way. We make it to the very top and get a very cool cinematic shot of the city of Mondstadt, before continuing to make our way down and getting our very first statue of the Seven. Because I'm pretty much, whatever this statue shows me, I'm just stuck there. For the foreseeable future. There we go. Oh, we do have Mondstadt. There we go. And you may notice the problem here, because I definitely didn't at first. But you see that red border around the map? That's gonna be an issue. I didn't realise this, but at the very start of the game, the first area, part of it is blocked off and you can't go forward. We're gonna need to find a way around this if we want to get to our minimum percentage to move on. Regardless, I continue in blissful ignorance and beat up some strange squishy mailmen to rob them of their mail, which had some free wishes and stuff that will be handy later. Deciding our best course of action is to head towards the city of Mondstadt so we can get a glider. Along the way we pick up any and all chests we spot, as a good crow does. We also spot another big bird, follow it, find its owner, and acquire a cool shiny rock. A little further along we gain our second character for this challenge, a rather awkward bunny girl called Amber, who promptly joins our team as our resident fire archer. With Amber on our side, we go beat up some hilly trills whose only crime was wanting to be closer to the city so that their commute to work wouldn't be as long. With the job well done, we yoink the shrine waypoint, get taught how to cook, hom nom 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 nom.
Let me try.
With that done, we continue heading towards the city, grabbing some more chests along the way, and eventually making it into the city walls. We get another really cool cutscene where it shows off what the city looks like, and yeah. Once in the city, Amber offers us a gift, this being our very first wind glider, which will come in handy especially considering the town is now being attacked by a giant pigeon. We beat up the pigeon, and definitely not the most boring fight ever in this game, meet the local police. Debatable.
You've actually got the power to go up against the dragon. Are you a new ally? Or a new storm?
And get told we have to go to some shrines so that the wind would be less angry. Now this is actually the point of the game where you unlock the ability to wish and pull for characters, but as per my rules I can't quite do that just yet, not until we get some more exploration progress in the area we're in. Then we go off to grab another chest. This one's a bit of a sneaky one that involves you running around the ramparts and trying not to fall off so that you can get the chest at the very end. Climbing up to the top of the cathedral will net you another really nice chest. However, mind your stamina on the way down, because I certainly wasn't. That's the second time I've died by full damage. I then climb up and run along the city walls, grabbing whatever chests I find along the way, and deciding it was about time that I get started on dealing with some of these shrines, so then at least the city wouldn't be so windy. I start off making my way through Amber's shrine, it's the closest, and we already got the waypoint for this earlier, so it was easy to get to. Kaya's was a bit further away, but running to it allowed us to kind of pick up a whole bunch of random chests that were scattered along the path, so we kind of just took our time and slowly made our way up the mountain towards it. Completing Kaya's shrine next gives us access to using Kaya as a character, which is handy because we're gonna need him for ice bridging later. The third and last shrine is a bit of a problem. Lisa's shrine is located outside of our current reachable area. But you remember me talking about the red barrier that's blocking a good chunk of the area we're in? It's tied to this quest. We need to go and get Lisa and do her trial before the rest of the map will open and we'll be free from the red barrier. However, I still haven't realised this is an issue yet and will continue to not realise for quite a while yet. Thus, I just continue walking around rather aimlessly. I'm grabbing chests, I'm grabbing waypoints, I'm grabbing Animalculus. They're used to level up your stamina. I don't think I mentioned them, I'm mentioning them now. Though this feature isn't actually unlocked until we unlock the next Statue of the Seven, so no leveling up stamina for us. Anyway, I'm just grabbing whatever I can to level up my exploration progress. All of these things count towards it. I'm trying to get to 90 as a minimum. This first area I did actually have lower than my original rules say, and that is because I was aware that there's lots that I wouldn't be able to get done, mostly because Shrine of Depths keys limit what I can get quite a bit. Some chests are blocked by quest, and it was just a whole thing. I was aware I wouldn't be able to get much done, I just wasn't aware how much of the area was blocked off. Regardless, while we were yapping, I made it up to the Thousand Wind Temple, which has a ruin guard in it. Ruin guards aren't typically that hard, especially when you get later in the game, but considering we are very, very, very low level right now, this thing was tanky and it took forever to kill. We did eventually manage it though, so it was all goods. And die. Fuck. Bro, he's got so low health. Just pull over. There you go. After beating up that ruin guard, it's back to business as usual. We're running around, we're grabbing a whole bunch of chests and random resources that we run across. Just generally doing whatever we can to improve our exploration progress so we can move on to a new area. During our running around, we do end up sniping some really sneaky chests. There's this one where you have to light a campfire and it will spawn a chest. And another one where if you grab the fruit on the top of this pillar, it spawns another one. These are just sneaky ones that I found I missed when I first played, so I thought it would be good to point these ones out. In the meantime, we grabbed the nearby domain teleport. This one's a bit too high level for us, so we can't actually do anything with it right now. And we also come across our first Shrine of Depths. This is essentially a chest that's locked up, and we have to get keys to open it. It's worth about between 5 and 7% on its own, so it's going to be a good portion to why we can't get a really high percentage in this first area, because there's, I think, 2 or 3. After mourning the fact that we don't have a key and can't open the Shrine of Depths, I jump off the cliff to try to go for the chest that's on the rocks that I tried to go for earlier in this video and drown trying to get to. It's easier to get to from above, so we just yoink that. At this point our map progress is at 44%, and I decide it's about time that we go try to fight our first boss that's in this area, the Cryo Regisvine. It's pretty much a big ice flower that does lots of ice attacks and you have to break its shield with like fire damage. We had Amber, so I figured we could break the shield easy enough. Its attacks are pretty predictable, so I figured we could just dodge them and we'd be fine. What I failed to remember is it's been a while since I played and I didn't really remember what all the attacks do. Like there's this one that puts ice on the floor and it freezes you to death. I end up having to res Amber with an egg, and it causes a bit of a problem because I swap to her and immediately die with her again. This puts it on cooldown and everything gets a little bit harder.
You got me.
What? Oh, does the floor do damage, bro? Really? I still continue trying though, but once I lose my Traveller, it's pretty much game over. I can't deal enough damage to kill it, and both of the characters that could break its shield are both dead. So this is going to have to be something that we come back to do a little bit later when we're a little bit stronger. Instead, I finish up getting all the chests that are kind of around the starting area where the first statue of the Seven is. We poke our head up into Stormbearer Mountains, collecting some other chests up there now.
A reward on the road.
I got an achievement for opening chests now. And this is when I notice that something's a bit off. So I know that somewhere around this area there is an Anemoculus. I know that there's one off this cliff, I just can't remember the exact location. So I'm jumping off the cliffs, looking around to try to find it, and I'm a bit confused because I can't find it anywhere. That's because that red border that's blocking off a good chunk of the map mostly affects this area, so I'm finally being confronted with the fact that part of the map is missing. There's a Anemoculus somewhere. Really? Hold up, I'm going crazy. I need to figure this out. After looking it up to see that yes, there was an Anemoculus there and I was just lost, I wander around and go back to where I thought it was and still no Anemoculus. Part of the map is blocked off and I can't go that way. And in my infinite wisdom I think, well maybe they've just moved it in an update and I didn't know about it. And with that, I still haven't realised that part of the map is actually missing. I end up my exploration today by leveling up to level 8 and unlocking ley lines, and with my map progress at exactly 50%. Not much changes on day 2, I continue to go and collect a whole bunch of chests. That's most of what we're doing at this point, so I'm just getting more and more. Oh. If I stayed lying down I would have left them. Oh, there goes one of them. There he goes. Oh, there he goes. I can't be bothered killing him. I'm just gonna... Oh my god, it's gonna pull me off. No, we're good. Goodbye.
I'll keep this close.
I really thought I was going off the map there, I'll be real. And I did actually realise sometime in between my day 1 and 2 exploration that part of the map was blocked off and I would eventually have to do Lisa's quest if I wanted to get any higher. What I ended up deciding to do for this was that I would get to a minimum of 70%, go do Lisa's quest, not touch anything in the next area, and just come back straight after. I figured in that way I would still keep some of the challenge aspects where I still had to get to a minimum amount of like exploration, but I wasn't completely soft-locked essentially by the fact that I couldn't do this quest. So I continued trekking along in Stormbearer Mountains. I eventually reached the point where I'm constantly having to fight Paimon to go anywhere because I'm really close to the border trying to see what I can and can't get.
How about we explore the area ahead of us
Bring me
later?
Paimon, but I want the thing. There we go, got it.
How about we explore the area ahead of us later?
So we continue our chest hunting, trying to get to 70% exploration on our map. We get to 69%. Nice. And I decide it's about time for a rematch against the big frost flower. This attempt goes much better than the first. We deal a lot more damage now, so it was a little bit easier and didn't take as long. I also had kind of gotten a bit more into the swing of things and the controls and everything, so I was better at dodging the attacks and kind of knew what to expect. Saying it still took us a while to do enough damage to take the thing down. That being said, Amber still died a couple times. This is because with how she has to aim in to deal fire damage to break the shields, it's kind of hard to avoid being hit sometimes. Luckily though, Traveller didn't die, so with some time we were able to win this fight and take down our very first boss. Now is kind of the time, because Amber's dead again and we're back on cooldown for eggs. We just need to do a little bit more. There we go. Got it! Whee! We got the stuff. What do we get? Oh, that's actually good. After beating up our first boss, we go in and we grab the last chest we need to push us over to 70% exploration, and we head off to go do Lisa's shrine. Making our way through the shrine gives us access to using Lisa as a character, so now we have a character that can do electric damage. And it also finishes off the quest with all the shrines, so now the rest of the map is unlocked. And that means we're back to trying to get to 90% exploration as a minimum for Starfell Valley. So it's back to Stormbearer Mountains to get the chests that were blocked off earlier. And then I can walk for the first time on this account. I have a lot of stuff saved up, so... I don't really have anything I'm going for though. Not really. Because all of the characters are like netline characters. Which is like gonna be the last place we go to. And the last place we like meet characters. So it doesn't really work to go for them. I would love if there was like a monster character on banner. Oh, actually. Don't place exploding barrels beside you if you do not wish to perish immediately. Let this be a lesson to you all. Hoarding barrels. Terrible idea. And now that we have access to all these new chests, that means it's time to make our way out to the island that's in the middle of the ocean. The only way to do this is by painstakingly building an ice bridge with Kaya. What this means is we're using his skill over and over and over again to slowly form a bridge. This takes a while because we have to constantly wait for his skill to come off cooldown. And while Genshin did add boats in later updates, there are no boats in Mondstadt, so this is the only way we can get there. Nowhere nearby is high enough for us to use our glider to get there, and we definitely don't have enough stamina to swim it. You just have to watch out for the fact that eventually Kaya's bridge decays and might cause you to fall in the water, but it's fine as long as you pay attention to your cooldowns. And don't freak out and fall off into the water. Uh-oh. This isn't good. Can we... Sprinting stamina, that's not swimming stamina. I may have screwed up. I accidentally walked off. I don't think we make it. We're not close enough. Oh, we're gonna have to do it all again. Oh no. Oh dear. Oh no. Yeah. No. That sucks. I panicked when I fell into the water. Oh no. Oh gosh. Oh, back at it again, I guess. Yeah, it's kind of painful having to do this twice. We just sit here, spamming my cooldowns. Because the ice melts behind me. And I fear. See, look, there it goes. If I don't do it fast enough, we fall into the water. Oh well, at least it's sunrise, and the sunrise is very pretty. I like the colours. They're so tasty. And so, though it takes a while, we do eventually make it all the way to the island. If I fucked myself because I sprinted in the water a little bit, I'm gonna cry. No, we good. Yeah, we good. It's okay. We have made it to the island. Yippee! Now time to get my shit wrapped in by the big guy. And since we're on the island now, we'll get started on the quest that's over here. which you get by finding some notes under a rock that tell you to go investigate the sundial. Doing so will let you know that you should set the time to 2 in the morning, where all these weird windy things will spawn, and if you blow them away, a big boss thing will spawn, which we're gonna have to beat up. Here we go. Okay, hello big guy. Okay, not level 40, level 35. Uh-oh, that's not good. That's actually really bad. We need Amber for this fight. Now, I really wasn't looking forward to this fight because I knew it was going to take ages to do. Mostly because our only character that really does a lot of damage at the moment is Anemo, which is the same type as the boss we're fighting, so it's immune to most of our attacks. However, it's fairly easy to dodge, and using Amber and Lisa tends to interrupt it out of its things, so it can't really deal any damage. So it's more just it takes a while to win. We get it to low health and it runs away, which means we have to fight it all over again. Almost a bit fuck up. Okay, there we go. First phase done. It just takes a while. I don't know if we can do the second part without getting absolutely rolled. So that is one thing. Now, the second part of this fight is a bit harder than the first. The boss is 5 levels higher than it was originally, so now it's double our level, it being level 40 while we're still level 20. And it also summons lots of Anemo slimes and stuff to fight with it, so it's overall just a bit of a pain. Especially because Anemo slimes, in a similar fashion, are immune to Anemo damage, so Traveler's not really going to do much for us here. And we don't have to ice bridge our way back across, luckily. This time we get to take, like, the wind tube, but that shoots us all the way back to the mainland, which honestly I think is kind of fun. I like how fast you go. After we make it back to the mainland, we start on the second part of this fight, and unsurprisingly it takes a while to kill, similar to the first half. But honestly, the summons weren't as much of an issue as I thought they would be, so it all worked out in the end. Did that kill it? You did? No, you have like a tap of health. Just don't. Hold on. There you go. Yay! Honestly, I wasn't sure whether I would be able to do it because I thought that if you killed the slimes, they would insta-respawn. And I think that would have killed us. And for completing the quest, we get a bunch of primos and we get pushed up to AR10, which nets us some more stuff in our mail. And our exploration is now at 84%, so we're getting pretty close to being able to leave this area. We need about 6% more before we can move on. Like I said, the minimum for this area is 90 instead of 95, just because it's the first area and there's lots of things I don't have access to. I decided to go back to working on the main quest. I'm just a little curious on whether questing affects exploration progress or not, because I'm not really sure. So with that, we meet Venti and we get to learn why the big pigeon is so set on attacking the city. It's actually really cool and I really enjoy this cutscene because I really like the art in these. But keeping the whole thing in the video would have been too long. So essentially, 2 dragons fought, Dvalin went to sleep, and when he came back the people all hated him, so he was a bit sad. We also learned that the shiny rock we acquired early on is actually one of his tears, and for plot reasons we can purify the tears. And with that done, I decided to take a bit of a break from questing. We go to the souvenir shop to spend some of the Anemo sigils we've got from doing chests, and at this point we have over 400, so we've got quite a few. I end up getting a constellation for our traveller, which will up his damage a bit, and just generally buff his skills. And while questing and collecting chests, I managed to level up to AR12, so that gives us access to our daily commissions. This is the most efficient way to get both experience and primo gems because you get a lot from doing the 4 daily quests. However, at this stage there's only 2 we can reach within, the area we have access to, so we do the ones we can and we'll have to leave the other ones for now. And also by hitting AR12 we gained access to our first kind of, not quest domain, but close. But this one will give us access to our very first Shrine of Depths key, which will be handy because that will boost our exploration up by about 5% once I open the shrine, which will bump us up to 90 and thus let us leave this area and start exploring a new one. Can I hit these? Good lord. The answer is no. At least the ones that are far away don't move as much and don't move as quick. Once I finish that domain, it's time to go use the key on the Shrine of Depths, and also time to fight the Animo Cube. So we grab the shrine that's in Stormbearer Mountains. This is just the easiest one because it's right next to the boss, and that pushes us over to 91% exploration, which is nice. Then it's time to go beat up Beth, the Animo Cube. Now we're going to struggle with this boss a bit more than the Regisvine last time, and that's because it faces a similar problem to the Eye of the Storm. It's Animo, so our main damage dealer isn't gonna deal much damage to it. The cube is Animo, Traveler's Animo. He's just immune to that type of damage, so nothing's really gonna happen. I see.
You're in for.
Ow, ow,
Looks
ow,
like I got
ow.
carried away.
Uh-oh. No way. That hurt. I was using Lisa too. That's unfortunate.
Bet you can't
Oh
keep
well,
up
it's
with
in the
me.
rain now. We can beat it up now. So we can swirl the water. It's a great time for it to be raining. Dang it. I was hoping... So all of the cubes have like final phases when they get to low enough health. And I was really hoping to get the cube to low enough health that I would pop the other phase. There we go. Yeah? Okay, there we are. Alright. Because you have to pick up these, otherwise it respawns with all of its health again. Which is fun. There we go. It respawns with some of it, no matter what. This one, at least. The other ones don't, but this one does. Alright, and we should be able to kill it here.
Windblade.
I struggled way more on the ice flower. There we go. Got him. At least, I thought it would be more difficult than the Regisvine. It just didn't end up being because, well, it started raining. And so I could actually use the Animo attacks of my main character to just do water damage instead. But with the Animo Cube dead, I've reached my minimum requirements to, well, leave this area and go to a new one. So that means I get to wish for the first time. Anyway. Da-da-da-da. See, we've got 22 of the standard wishes, and then this of the currency. We'll use them on here though. We probably just got Noel. See?
My
Noel.
name is Noelle, maid of the Knights of Favonius.
Made with a big sword. And we'll use the other ones, because these are like cheaper ones. And it's purple. Because the other thing is, I can't use a character unless I've met them in game. So I kind of only want non-stat characters, because
My name is Chongyun. My family
I
has
can't
practiced
use
the
them
art of
otherwise.
exorcism in Liyue for many generations.
So I can't use Chongyun, and I haven't actually met yet. No.
This is your team?
Bennett's
Cool.
good though,
I like the vibe.
because I
I'm
can
Bennett,
meet Bennett.
leader of Benny's adventure team.
I think.
Any chance we could team up? Please?
Bennett's Mondstadt, so he should be easier to find. Motorcycle chick? Alright. Because I can do a temple. It's not a 5-star, it's just a 4-star. That's kind of what I want here.
I'm Chevras, captain of Fontaine's Special Security and Surveillance Patrol.
Sure.
You'll excuse me if I skip the pleasantries.
Can't
Is
use
there
her though. Not until Fontaine. Tempos are guaranteed a 4. See? Purple. It's not very good. This is kind of trash, actually. It's a weapon. Which we really don't need. Alright. That's pretty much that. I would love to use Bennett, but we need to, as per Sarah's rule said, need to meet the characters. So Bennett, Noelle are we probably can if we get the right class. And with that, I got my first set of characters from Wishing. Too bad we can't use any of them right now, though I'll be aiming to go for Bennett's hangout quest so I can use him. But now with everything in Starfell Valley done, I decide it's time to go get the next statue of the Seven so we can start on the second area of this game, which will be Galesong Hill. I decided to choose this one because then at least we have access to the statue at Windrise, which means we can level up our stamina finally. And we can actually get money now. Oh, not money, stamina. So I can level up the statue. Right. No, my stamina's not tiny. Well, it's still tiny, but it's not as tiny. Anyway, now that we have access to all this new space to explore, we get to doing what we do best. We're running around grabbing more chests, more homunculus, and pretty much just fighting whatever we come across. Though now that we have access to this area, it also allowed us to reach one of the ley lines we unlocked earlier today, so while I could reach it, I did it. This pretty much gives us more access to level up materials, mostly the experience books, which you use to level your characters. We can also now work through more of the main story because we've got access to the big tree at Windrise, which is where Venti moved to after we finished the last part of the quest. I figured we might as well do it now just because we're in the area and it's gonna be easier if we just do it now rather than save it to do it later. So we chat up Venti and get interrupted by another Eye of the Storm. This is like the big guy that we fought earlier during that one quest. You know, the one on the island that took us ages to kill. Yeah, that guy. But this one's on Schwieger and it kind of just falls over.
Let's spark things up a little.
No escape!
There we go, film. Way easier than the last one.
Seems the dragon wasn't the only thing affected by this change in the wind.
Anyway, we finish up chatting to Venti, and he tells us we need to go get the Holy Lyre, so that's our next job. At least it is for questing. Right now my job is to go back to yoinking more chests.
A reward on the road.
Hunting treasure hunter. What's that? That is 200 chests. There you go. That was my 200th chest. We end up making it up to the Dragon Spine camp and yoinking what we can there and grabbing the 4-star artifact you get from just talking to Stephen. And after that I'm back to going and grabbing whatever chests I can. I'm trying not to miss any, but lordy knows I probably did. You have no hat. He's got no thing, no bit, no guy, no flower. I didn't know they could throw their flowers in the ring. Wait, almost 50. No, we're done kind of up here, around, roughly. And after a while, I decide it's time to do the main world quest that's in this area. Essentially, there's a sword surrounded by a bunch of barriers where there's a bunch of villager camps. And you go and you clear out the camps and you activate the pillars that are scattered around the area, and with that kind of breaks the barriers. So we go off to do the first one. This kind of involves an arena style battle where you're just fighting a bunch of different waves, which is fairly easy to clear. Whack, 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 whack. Thank you. There's so many chests for doing this. One down, 2 to go. We then head off towards the second Hilichurl camp. This one is even simpler than the first. You're pretty much just fighting a bunch of guys in water. It's straightforward. Let's do this.
This mark will be frozen.
No one escapes my sight!
And dead. Nice. And one left to go. Now, before going to the third and last Hilichurl camp, I get pretty distracted getting chests. I decide to do the entire top section of this area, before coming back to the last camp. We end up going on a bit of a side quest over to Spiral Abyss. Not that we can do any of it yet, we're not high enough level, but I figured we might as well do it while we're in the area. I'll explain more about Spiral Abyss later when we actually have access to it. After finishing up this cliff area, we're back down to do the very last camp that we have to do for that quest. This one just has a mix of 3 different guys you gotta beat up in the middle, so it's probably actually the simplest one to do, but we're doing it last. We have that quest done. So with that, we go back to the chest that was in the middle of the barriers and we open it up, getting a bunch of primos and stuff. And we're now at 84% exploration. This one's going way faster than the last area. The last area took me about 6 or more hours to do. This one I've been going for like an hour and a half. Anyway, we head on over back to Mondstadt where we go to continue the main quest. Venti ropes us into performing a heist where we have to steal the lyre, where someone else steals it first, but we get caught and have to run. We end up running to the bar, meet D-Luke, and just kind of everything goes on from there. And having hit AR-15 earlier, we now have access to this domain which will give us another Shrine of Depths key, which we can use to boost our exploration more and get closer to our now 95% exploration minimum. So we quickly make our way through the domain, beating up all the monsters, and acquire the key. We immediately use it to open up a shrine, and use up another one that we got from doing our Adventurer's Handbook to open up another shrine. This actually gets us to 100% exploration. I wasn't expecting it to be this high after 2 shrines because we're still actually missing one in this area. But after that, it's time to fight the one boss that's in this area, which is the Electro Cube, similar to the last one, only this time it's electric. This made it a bit easier than the last one, mostly because I've fought this one quite a few times and I still remember all of its attacks, so they're quite easy to dodge. And I can actually use my animo abilities this time to beat it up. It's not immune, so it's way easier this time. Yeah, that's all my damage. Now we just need to break. Please. Yes, everything. One sec on it. By this time today, I was getting pretty tired. I had been going for about 6.5 hours, so I was kind of ready to finish off for the day. Yes. Alright. Let's pull and we'll end stream. I don't know if we have enough to really do anything. I pull singles. And with that, I get a whole lot of nothing from my wishing session this time, but, you know, I wasn't really expecting much, and yeah. Anyway, with that, I ended my second day of streaming, but I did end up going back and doing a bunch of the quests that I had accumulated just off stream. I started making my way through Kaya's quest, and I also made a start on Amber's quest. Both of these I couldn't finish completely because it was blocked by needing to go to the next area. And I wanted to wait till my next day of streaming to do that. I did also hit level 16 during this time, which unlocked the elemental reaction trials, which I did off stream as well. And did you know, for the main part of the quest, you can actually skip going to the next area to do it and start it at this domain, which I didn't realise. I know that there's like a crack in the wall, that's where the marker is that you're supposed to go into, and I was very confused when I walked into this trial and suddenly was doing the main quest.
Did he say Senora? What a strange name.
What? I don't understand.
Number 8 of the
Why
11
does this work?
goes by the name Senora.
Why am I here?
The fact that the
I don't
Fatui can
supposed
run
to be doing
amok
this,
across
like...
the 7 nations like they do is entirely because of the 11.
We're here.
We need to act quickly before she gets wind of what...
I figured now that we started it, we might as well finish it. So we beat up the Fatui and steal back the hub that they stole from us originally. I then do what I originally came here to do and do all the elemental trials. This just gets us some level up books and stuff, and it completes my, I have to do all the domains and trials thing. We complete some more of Amber's quest right after because she's right next to the trial chamber we were doing. And this quest has us trying to get our gliding license so we can glide anywhere. Not that we haven't been doing that already, but you know. And while doing our training, we almost get arrested for gliding without a license. Now we can't do much more of this quest because it's kind of blocked off by the next area, so instead we run off to the library and start on Luce's. This is actually the first character quest we can complete fully because it's all in the areas we already have unlocked, so I pretty much just run through and do the entire thing. We're pretty much just grabbing all the books back from different people around the map, and yeah. Anyway, with that out of the way, we've pretty much done all we can for the first two areas, that being Starfell Valley and Galesong Hill. So with that, I'll end this video off here. This video took me a long time to make, so if you enjoyed it, subscribe. I'm thinking about doing more of these in the future. I want to keep making content on this whole challenge thing I'm doing, so I plan to keep going. And if you want to see everything in live time, I've been doing a bunch of this on stream over on my Twitch, which is still just DoodlePalace. Anyway, I hope you all enjoyed. Bye-bye!